So I thought I would share my thoughts about the Xbox One with everything that's been going on and everybody's been talking about it. Everybody's pretty pissed off, and well, rightly so. All right, so let's get into it. I own probably all of the current systems right now, aside from the Wii U, which I am going to get. I am interested in Wii U. I've just been waiting for more and better games that won't be coming out till either next year or sometime later down the line. I have a PS3. I'm interested in getting a PS4. I have a 360. I love my 360. In fact, I probably play more games on my Xbox than I do on my PlayStation. But I have absolutely no interest in getting an Xbox One. None. None whatsoever. I don't like the idea of a system that you have to be online 24/7 just to play a goddamn video game. I mean, did we not learn anything from the Diablo 3 disaster? I mean, I had no interest in playing a game that was always online, and then it turned out that day one, everybody who tried to play it couldn't. But really, that's on the developers, though, when that happened. I mean, really? I mean, you really didn't plan on, oh, well, we didn't know so many people were going to be playing our game. Really, Blizzard, you didn't know so many people who bought Diablo 3 were really going to want to play your game. Really. And I don't know if this is true. Hopefully it's not, but it'd be terrifying if it is. I heard, because somehow when I was talking to my brother, we got on the subject of talking about the Xbox One, and he was pissed off about it. He was pissed off about it for a lot of the same reasons. Always Kinect, always online. And then he said that apparently Microsoft signed a deal with the government so that they can monitor you through your Kinect. Doesn't that just make you feel all special inside to know that anytime you're playing your video game, the government is probably watching you? I don't know if that's true, but Jesus. I'm paranoid enough as it is. I'm not comfortable enough, with the knowledge that the Kinect is always on and watching me, and whoever else is probably watching me. I don't need that shit in my head. I'm not even a fan of the Kinect to begin with, mostly because it doesn't help that a lot of games on Kinect have absolutely no interest to me. And then the fact that a lot of them don't work. And I love how Xbox comes out and says, the Kinect works now. Really? Because I still have no interest in it. And it's sad, because I'm sure there are going to be games coming out for Xbox One I'm going to want to buy and play, but I'm not going to be able to, because you have to be online all the damn time. Now, they did come out and say, you don't have to be online all the time, but your system will still need to make a 24-hour check. Well, you don't know what time that is. You don't know, how random of a check that's going to be. And there's still the gaping problem of not everybody in the world has reliable internet. I mean, my internet, I will say, is much better than it used to be. But still, my internet still crashes a couple of times a day. Now, not for very long periods of time. I mean, I do just have to reset it. It just takes a few minutes. But still. And hell, there are parts of the country where people have terrible internet or just no internet whatsoever. But does Microsoft give a shit about those people? Fuck no. Fuck no. They don't care about you. They don't care about anybody else. And then, of course, there was a story that I read today where, I guess during Wii U, or Nintendo, had made a deal where they were showcasing demos and such to various Best Buys around the country. in order to try to improve sales and such. And so Microsoft was sending representatives to go talk to these people during these promotions. And, and there were a lot of people saying, wow, that's really pathetic. I mean, for one thing, I would have wanted to know what was a lot of the feedback to the Xbox representatives who, when they were talking to these people about, hey, why are you wasting your time with the Wii U when the Xbox One is right around the corner? I could imagine a lot of the feedback is because Xbox One is evil, because I don't want to buy a system that I have to be online all the time, and I don't want to own a system that comes with Kinect that's always watching me. It's a little creepy. You know. And then there have also been a lot of stories also coming out about people aren't sure exactly about the security of the Kinect, about who else might be able to watch you or even hack in to your Kinect camera and watch you. Just a lot of paranoid shit that's going around out there, and it doesn't help. And there's also, of course, the big fact about no used games or no cheap games, as a lot of other people have calling it. No more indie titles on the Xbox One. And and what really got me mostly about the Xbox One when they were showing it off during their big press show was, you have to love how a gaming company, the first thing they say is, oh, well, and that this was the first thing they were talking about. That the Xbox One, oh, well, you can watch movies, and you can go on the internet, and you can watch television, and you can quickly switch like that from your music, your movies, your television, your internet, and your gaming. I'm not buying a gaming system just so I can watch television and movies. I already have a computer for all of that. That's where I keep all my music, and that's where I keep all the other media that I watch. If I want to watch a movie or something, yeah, I'll boot up my PS3 or my DVD player. But if I want to play a video game, then yeah, I'll buy an Xbox, more or less, especially if it has a crap ton of games that really catch my interest. But I don't give a shit about that. That's just really, that's the forefront of what you're going to talk about with your brand new system? Oh, and it's also a DVR, and when I first saw the Xbox One, and a lot of people have pointed this out too, that it looked like a shitty old DVR or an old VCR player. And yeah, it does. It looks like shit. And you have to love how they chatted about, oh, well, we had fun in designing this system. Really? Looks like you guys had a lot of great ideas while you were working on that. It seems like they were just bullshitting around, and then at the last minute, oh, shit, that's right, we need to design the Xbox One. Here, it's a square. There, we're done. Ship it out. And no backwards compatibility, which I understand is a hardware and a technical issue. I don't know how much it would cost or set them back to allow backwards compatibility. Because I know a lot of people like that, and I know originally with the PlayStation 3, when it originally launched, it was backwards compatible, but the issue was that it was a little bit more expensive, and I don't know if this was true, but I guess it was a little bit bigger and a lot heavier originally too. And I don't know if that's true. And so to cut down on cost and manufacturing, they just removed the chip that allowed the backwards compatibility. You can still play PS1 games, of course. And hell, PlayStation has made up for that, where now on the PlayStation Network you can download PS2 games. And the 360 is just about 100% backwards compatible. Not completely. I mean, you may you may run across a game or two that isn't backwards compatible. But to get on the whole digital gaming that everybody's been talking about, and that I guess Xbox is wanting to do more of, the whole you have to install your disc now when you buy it. That's another thing. Rendering the physical disc completely meaningless. So you just bought a $60 game. The game installs, and then you can just play your game on your system at any given time, and you don't need the disc for it. Why do that? I don't understand that at all. I mean, I really don't. And if you're having to install every single game that you buy, that 500 gigabyte hard drive that you have on your Xbox One, it's gonna fill up really quick. Because you have to imagine, I mean, you install any of the 360 games onto your hard drive now, hell, there are some of them that are some odd gigs, or possibly even double-digit gigs. And that's really, really fucking big. That is a lot of memory to go in. That's just not a good idea. And apparently, if your Xbox One dies, there's no way for you to transfer your data onto your new Xbox One. Maybe they will make it available. I mean, we haven't heard any news if you can or not. I did hear that they will allow for external hard drives, but still, what if your Xbox One dies? How are you supposed to transfer all of your saves, every game that you've bought, whether digitally or physically, how are you supposed to transfer those to your new Xbox One if you cannot get access to the hard drive on the system? You know, a lot of information that's coming out about this is just not good. And I have to wonder, after everything that's being said, is anybody really at all still really interested in buying an Xbox One? I'm not. And hell, a buddy of mine who was actually interested in the Xbox One, but he doesn't have a computer and he doesn't have he doesn't have internet because he lives out in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, and internet is really expensive, and it doesn't help that where he lives there are occasional power outages. So of course, the minute I told him, well, you have to be online a lot, and he said, oh, well, fuck that then. I guess I won't be getting one for several years. And it's funny, the Wii U Nintendo story that I was reading, made me wonder. Because I was reading the comment section, and there were some people who were saying, oh, well, Xbox One, is still reliable, and, blah, 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 and, and you have to wonder how many of those people who were showing support, if those were real people, or if those were, Microsoft, representatives. I don't know. And what's kind of weird, too, at the same time, is that we haven't heard any news about what the PlayStation 4 is doing. I mean, we don't know if they're going to have online checks. We don't know if a lot of gaming from them is going to be majorly online. We don't know. No. Just keep our fingers crossed. But it would be terrible if it did turn out that PS4 was following suit. I mean, I can't imagine that they would do everything exactly the same that Microsoft is doing, especially with everything that that everybody has to say, which is so far, man, fuck the Xbox One. And I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised if they do still do, if they are going to do online checks, but they do it differently, where it's like Steam, where it's every 30 days. You do a check and then you just do it once, and then it lets you know. Or you can, set a time on when it has to do the check. Just make it a little bit more convenient and easier for yourself to know and to remember. I don't know. Well, anyway, those are my thoughts on Xbox One. It's gone way too far. I am not interested. I would actually like to know if anybody is really actually going to buy an Xbox One or even supporting Xbox at this point. Well, let me know. See ya.